Hello guys, today I'm going to be talking about the free market. I'm going to be talking about the concept of this system and answering the three economic questions: who created the system and what is the point, the good things about the system, the bad things about it, and furthermore. So let's begin. So first, introducing this topic. So what is the free market exactly? So basically, it's an economic system where the government imposes few or no restrictions and regulations on buyers and sellers. So in this market, what happens is that the buyers and sellers, so the members of this market, are the ones that control it. They control the prices, they control what's in trend, they control what's not in trend, they're controlling the what sells and what doesn't sell. So they control most aspects. Now, of course, the government will always be involved somehow, but in the free market, it's less than the other economic systems. And it began around the late 18th century after the Industrial Revolution. And then we have this image which kind of explains the fact that the people inside the market control it and make the rules. Basically, they make their own rules. So, for example, here a woman is telling her that they're basically making a deal. I'll supply your family with milk if you take my kids to school every day. And the woman is saying deal. So basically, they're making a deal for both of their benefits. She is gaining milk, whereas she is saving money on a ride to her kids at school. And let's begin. So the ideology behind the system, what is that system exactly? So in free market, participants, buyers and sellers, like I previously said, determine what prices are produced, how they're produced, when they're produced, where are they made, to whom are they offered, and at what price are they offered. And as you can see, the ones I highlighted are like the main questions, I guess. And a completely free market does not exist because countries do impose import tax, federal law, sale tax, and more. So of course, there's always going to be some involvement from the government, but again, it's always minimal when it comes to the free market. And then we have the forces I also talked about, which are the supply, demand, and competition. Okay, so first we're going to be explaining what supply and demand are basically and what are the roles they play in the free market, explaining this graph. So basically, demands a customer desire to pay for to buy a product at the price they are satisfied with, and supply is the quantitative or quantity or part of a particular product given at the price. So basically, demands how much the people want it. Supply is the amount of the certain product that's available. And in the free market, companies sell products and services at the highest cost that customers are willing to pay because their main objective or goal is to make profit. And if they raise the prices too much where the customers are not willing to pay for it anymore, then they won't be reaching their goal, which is making profit. And of course, they're going to make it at the highest price the customer is willing to pay to maximize the profit as much as they can. And the same thing for the other members, which are the workers. So workers are paid the highest wages that companies are prepared to pay for their services. And then we have this graph. So we know that the more the demand decreases, the more the supply decreases as well. The more the demand increases, the more the price increases, and the more the demand increases, so does the quantity. And now, actually, wait. The more the supply increases, the more the quantity increases. I'm sorry about that. Let's continue. So the real life example. So basically, real life examples always help you have a better idea of a certain or specific concept. In addition to that, when you're learning a social sciences, economics or sociology or philosophy or more, having real life situations always helps you grasp whatever you're learning more, you know, the lesson. So basically, this is a real life example now. So a man is selling electric toothbrushes. I keep saying this wrong. The toothbrushes are highly demanded. So demand is high, skyrocketing, and they are constantly selling out. So basically, the demand is increasing when the supply is decreasing because of the amount of demand. And once they are restocked, they're going to sell out again. So what demand does is that he increases the price. So you see, the more the demand increases, the more the price increases as well. And since the man works in a free economy, he's allowed to increase the price or to decrease the price of the good or service he's offering, depending on the price his customers are willing to pay. For example, if maybe these toothbrushes aren't selling out, maybe the man would consider, or maybe if they aren't even selling it, or maybe the man would consider to decrease the price. Maybe people would find it more reasonable. So as you can see, these two factors, supply and demand, play a huge role, because in the free market, again, the participants or members are willing to, determine many factors, which are the supply and demand and the price and the quantity. And for example, if a product's really trendy, then of course the quantity of it in the market is going to increase and many companies will produce. But once there's a specific product that's no longer trendy or is not, needed by people, then of course the quantity will decrease. And then we have the characteristics of the free market. What makes the free market what it is? What distinguishes it from other markets? So we have that individuals own resources and answer the three economic questions. We have economic freedom, which is very important. So for example, for communism, the people do not have economic freedom completely. They have consumer sovereignty, competition, and self-interest work together to regulate the economy by keeping prices down and quality up. So basically, what does this mean? So let's say we have 3 stores, all of them sell sneakers. So of course, once the stores all won't increase their, one of the stores won't increase their prices because the customers will go naturally to the other stores. So basically, they will always make sure that the prices are not very high. That way they can stay in competition. And of course, the quality up, that way the customer will choose to buy from them, not from the other person. It's not from the other seller. But for example, if there was one shoe store, then people would not have as many options. And thus, when they don't have many options, they're going to have to buy at whatever price, given if they actually really need the sneakers. So that's why competition is very important, and self-interest for the customer is very important, because the customer always wants the best price and the best quantity for what he's buying. So he will choose that, and the companies will always make sure they're offering that compared to other companies. That way, they are the ones that make the profit. And then the opportunity to make profit, again, it is the motivation for companies and industries. And then voluntary exchange, like I said in the first slide, I gave you an example, and limited government involvement. And the laissez-faire term is really used to describe the free market, because in French, laissez-faire is French for let it be in English, which is, letting the people and the members of this certain economic system do their thing. And all of these factors drive the market economy as it encourages efficiency and innovation, which are part of the positives of the free market. And then we have illustration of the free market. So this is, this gives you an idea of how it is. If you don't like to read, this is like a good illustration. And then we have Adam Smith. So basically, because of his beliefs on capitalism, free market, and supply and demand, Adam Smith is recognized as, quote unquote, the father of economics. Adam Smith argued that the greatest environment for economic progress was one of the free competition that allowed universal nature principles. Smith's economic ideas became the foundation for classical economics, since it was the most methodical and thorough study of economics at the time. And Adam Smith he had 3 laws: the law of self-interest, the law of competition, and the law of supply and demand, like I previously mentioned. So basically, self-interest, the customer looking for the best price at the best quality given; the law of competition, so competition between industries or companies; and the law of supply and demand that I talked about before. And also, he described the free market as an obvious and simple system of natural liberty. He was on society's side and didn't take the worker, landowner, or factory owner's side. His theory about the free market is the idea that markets tend to work best when the government leaves them alone. So he believed that, and he wrote a book about political economy and inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. So basically, now we're answering the 3 economic questions. So the first one being what to produce. The private sector produces goods and services based on the consumer's demand. So example, you have small businesses, shops and farms and factories. Then we have how to produce. So in the free market economy, production is based on consumer wants and supply chain through the use of human and financial resources available in the establishment or business. They have producers will allocate resources towards the production of goods and services for consumers, while of course max out profit, because profit is one of the most important things in the free market. It is people or members' goals essentially. For whom to produce, the producers produce goods and services for a specific type of targeted consumers. For example, a company can produce luxury furniture for wealthy consumers. So of course, each company has a specific target. So basically, we have the positives and the negatives. So for the positives, you have the absence of the red tape. So basically, what's the red tape? The red tape is the unnecessary bureaucracy that interferes with the everyday operation of the organization. Then we have choice or variety. Again, we have many companies, many industries, so we can be able to choose between them what we like more. Customers drive the products and services that succeed and help set the price. So basically, if something is set as a too high price and customers won't buy it, thus the supplier will have to decrease the price. Encourages efficiency and motivation, encourages growth, striving to create products people might like. So growth being creativity in order to make profit, because people really want to make profit, so they're willing to be as efficient and productive as much as they can. The freedom to innovate. Then we have the negative. So businesses will only produce goods and services that make profit, so they won't produce things that don't make as much as profit. Businesses will only sell products to customers who can afford to pay for them. Harmful goods may be produced if it's profitable to do so. So there are many things that aren't really necessarily good for our society or will have a positive impact if they are still produced, because some individuals or some companies are blinded by the profit that they're going to be making instead of their impact on society. And then we have excessive power of firms. So basically, if one specific firm has control over a whole specific industry. And then we have poor quality, and we also have profit motives, which can sometimes be greed, because profit can be very good because it does encourage many good things such as innovation and competition, but it also encourages greed. So this is it for the free market. Sorry if I talked way too fast. I'm just trying to help you grasp the concept. And I do hope you enjoyed this presentation. It was quite efficient. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.